Hey guys, you're right on time for summertime. Today we have here Charlamagne Tha God. I'm so excited to be able to interview him. And you guys, stay tuned. Let's zoom straight into it. So this is your first time here in Ghana?
Yes, first time in Ghana.
Oh wow, how do you like it so far?
I really enjoy it. I've been to South Africa before, but I've never been to Ghana. I just came back from the castle,
Cape Coast?
Cape Coast. And that was a very exhilarating experience. Because I heard a lot of people say they go there and they get emotional and they end up crying and stuff like that. For me, it felt like more of a story of survival than anything. So it lets you know that we come from a group of people. We have ancestors that survived the worst possible conditions, known to man. So it's just like, if they can survive that, then we can definitely, survive what we're going through right now.
Yeah, I've never actually looked at it that way. I agree with you. So I wanted to know, what would you tell a person from the U.S. about Ghana?
Not just Ghana, but just, the continent as a whole. Like, don't believe the hype. That's so interesting you were saying that, because I was thinking, like, my daughters are 14, 7, 4, and 1. My oldest daughter's been to South Africa with us, and she's been to Ghana. I got all my daughters with me now. And their perception of what the motherland, is going to be totally different than ours growing up. Growing up with us, when they talked about Africa, they showed us the images of, the malnourished children with flies all over their face, and they told us that Africa was a place nobody wanted to be, and we basically got rescued from Africa. That's the story that the colonizers always told us. But now it's like their perception of Mother Africa is going to be totally different because they've been here. Look at this hotel that we're in. I was sitting on the roof of the Sky Bar the other night, like, man, this feels like we're in LA somewhere. So it's just like, I would tell them, don't believe the hype. Come to experience it, for yourself. Everything they've ever told you about Africa, other than it's a beautiful place, is a complete lie.
Yeah, because some people would think it's one way until they come here.
That's right.
Oh wow, you can see the beauty.
That's right. I'm blessed to have some land here now. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So I've had some land here for a couple of years, but just even being here, looking around, I'm like, man, I should get some more. Because I wanted a piece of the motherland. I'm one of those people that you can't say something is your hood or something is your home if you don't, own a piece of it. So when they say welcome home, when we come to Ghana, like, I want to be able to say, yes, I am home. I do own, a piece of it. And what's so interesting, they also say welcome home. That's the other thing interesting about Ghana. When they say welcome home, they really mean it. Because how when you go home for the holidays, don't nobody care who you are. You know what I'm saying? You got to get what you want yourself. Like, don't expect any, impeccable service or anything like that. It's not going to be nothing extra. You home, so you handle it yourself. That's how Ghana feels. But it's great.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. So let's go into the aspect of journalism. What made you want to be a journalist?
Oh man, that's a great question. Growing up, honestly, I just wanted to do something positive, because I was running around in the streets so much, not listening to my parents, doing everything they told me not to do. So I was just looking for something positive to do. And when I got an internship at the radio station, it literally was like the most corporate, positive thing I had ever been a part of. Because I'm from Charleston. I'm from Mount Point, South Carolina, but I was born in Charleston. And the radio station I was working at is called Z93 Jams, and it's like the big heritage station in Charleston. And so, just me being an intern there, like people seeing me pull up in the station vehicle, even though I was just a promo person, putting up posters and getting the Jock's Pizza, it was a big deal. So it just made me feel like, man, I'm a part of something that's actually like legitimate, something my parents can say, oh, my son works at Z93. It was one of those things. And so once I, got into it and just understood the power of radio and understood, like, just seeing like the Angie Martinez and Wendy Williams and the Big Tigers and the Sways and the Big Boys, all of those people, I was like, oh, if I'm going to do radio, I want to do it like that. Tom Joyner, Doug Banks. So I realized it's something I could make a career of. So for me, that's kind of how it started.
Because usually people are like, oh, I always wanted to do this since I was a child, but it's a different story. I like that.
Yeah, I wanted to act. Like, most people who come from my generation, you look at television and you see people that are successful that look like you. They're usually in entertainment or sports. Most of the time it's rap. So I wanted to rap when I was young. Even this tattoo I got on my arm, this Wolverine from the X-Men holding a microphone in his hand. I thought I was going to be a rapper at like 17 years old, but it was a microphone that changed my life. It just wasn't through rapping. It was through, radio.
Yeah. So, since you've been a journalist, has there ever been a time when you had harsh criticism? And how do you overcome?
Oh, all the time. I mean, this is the era we live in. You see this thing I got in my hand? We're all in verbally abusive relationships with this. That's why I haven't gone on Twitter in 4 years. Literally, it's funny to me to see everybody now wanting to disconnect from Twitter. I realized a long time ago, like, our brains are not wired to constantly get opinions from other people all the time. And, depending on how many followers you got or who you are, these opinions can be in the tens, 20,000. And I'm not even just talking about the bad ones, the good ones too. That's why I think that, we're breeding a generation of narcissists because, everybody seeks validation through this. And my dad always told me, you're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are. So I don't care about either one. I just don't want it. I don't want to be inundated with everybody else's opinion about myself all the time. If anybody that tells you it does not stick with you is a liar. You know what I mean? You can read one comment, and that comment will have you questioning your life. And I don't want to be sitting in my therapy sessions with my therapist wasting an hour talking about a tweet. So yes, you can. Criticism comes with the territory.
Yeah. So that's actually a good way to do it, because you can't just stick on one thing, because if you do that, it can destroy everything.
Absolutely. And it can gas you up. Somebody can, like I said, you're never as good as they say you are, you're never as bad as they say you are. Somebody can tell you something that goes right through your head, and now you're not listening to nobody. You're not listening to your mom, you're not listening to anyone. You're just stuck in what somebody is saying about you, but now you're always running to social media to seek that person's validation. And what they say, if you live for the cheers, you'll die by the booze. So it's just like, just keep doing you. That's what I always tell people. Just keep doing you. My father said it. Never as good as they say you are, you're never as bad as they say you are. So just stay right here.
Yeah. That's some good advice. I'm keeping that. Keeping that. So, the last question. Have you learned any new questions or words since you've been here?
Oh, yeah. It's a bunch of them. I learned my name today. My name is Kukufu. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it means brave and courageous. So I learned that. We had a naming ceremony today. I learned that. I learned how do you say welcome? What is it? Kwaba. And then thank you is Madase. Yes. So yes, I've learned some new words. What? I'm telling you, man, it's interesting being here because growing up in South Carolina, man, it feels like that. Like even when we went out to the castle today or the dungeon, just those dirt roads, the way the woods are, the way the houses look. Like that's how I grew up. I grew up in Moncks Corner, South Carolina, in a rural area like that. The red clay dirt roads. My grandmother's house looks like one of those houses. It was just so interesting. Like, man, this really feels like being home in South Carolina. Even just being barefoot, walking around, the ancestor graveyard, I was like, wow, this feels like home for real. Yeah. So, long story short, yes, I've learned some new words.
Wow, that's nice. I think that you're going to enjoy every bit of your stay in Ghana, and I hope that you come visit here a lot more.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, guys, as I always say, catch you next time on Summertime. Bye.
Dope.
Thank you.